Hey guys, welcome to my channel. Today I'm going to be going over this color correction and it is a virgin application, so if you want to know more about this, stay tuned. So we started off with my client with a natural level 7, but the problem was she had a mid-band in her hair and it was about a level 6. So she had about 3 inches of regrowth that was like fresh hair, and then her ends were like a level 9 and then the previous color in that middle band. So we felt pretty confident that we could get this out, but we weren't really sure. So I started with a global lightener and I did mixing ratio 1:1 with TG Copyright True Light White, equal parts 8.5 and 20 volume, which gave me about a 15. So I did a virgin application and I started at the very bottom at the nape and I worked my way up back and forth from section to section, and I started this 3/4 of an inch off the root. So I was really careful to saturate and get a really good frosting like consistency on the hair because I wanted it to not dry out and to process evenly. So I did 2 sections and I did about 1/8 of an inch section. If I did anything bigger than that, I wouldn't get the saturation that I wanted. So it was a little bit tedious, but just small sections. And in between every 2 1/8 of an inch section, I isolated a sandwich in mesh strips. So basically I had little sandwiches of mesh strips going up the head. So once I did the whole back, working side to side all the way up to the top crown, then I started working in the front. Still using horizontal sections, working 3/4 of an inch off the root, working in 1/8 inch sections. This was a pretty tedious process. It took me a couple of hours to get all of this in. She had quite a lot of hair. It was like that kind of hair that's really, really fine, but she has a ton of it. And even though it was short, it took me almost an entire can of lightener to do the whole head. So I let that process until the back was, I checked the very bottom of the nape, and once that was about a level 8, then I started working on step 2, which was the application on the roots and then saturating the ends. So I didn't change my formula. I worked with the same developer as before, because if I bumped up my developer, what would happen is that heat zone, or the first 3/4 of an inch / zone 1, would have lifted too light too fast. So I wanted a super even lift, as even as possible, so I was working with the same exact formula. You never want to bump up your lightener when you're working on the root area and going through and resaturating the root area in this global lightener or virgin application situation, because if you bump up that developer, you're going to get a lighter lift in that area, and then you're just going to give yourself another color correction. So I'm really sorry about the lighting. You can't quite see what's going on, but what's happening is she has the mid band, which is lifted to about an 8-ish, and then her roots. So I'm going through and I'm saturating on the back side and then bringing it down, taking it out of the mesh, and saturating on the top side, and then resaturating every single section on the bottom too, so that my entire section doesn't dry out. I think the key with this kind of process is that you're constantly just resaturating and going through sections and cross-checking and reapplying so that you don't have anything drying out. So after that whole process, I just let it sit. And I was basically looking for zone 1 or a few inches off the root for all to get to a level 10. You can see at the ends, it's still kind of like orange yellow. So here it is when it's finished. I got the whole mid area, or the root area, to a level 10, and then you can see from about 3 inches down, I couldn't get the rest of that out. And due to the integrity of the hair, we just couldn't lighten it any longer. So we decided to just stop where we were, and we weren't going to progress into the next lightening session. Her hair couldn't handle it. We'd rather just save her hair and work with what we had. So what I had to do was course correction. So I had to basically fix that area that had gone too light and too pale yellow and basically match it to the ends. So that's what I'm doing in this video right now, is the correction of the roots. So basically those first 3 inches of the roots were too light and too yellow or pale. And so I was neutralizing them to look like the ends, because I couldn't lift the ends any further. Otherwise they would have gotten damaged. So you can see as I'm rinsing that instead of the roots being super overly light pale yellow, they're now toned down. So from the roots all the way to the ends, they were the same color. So then this gave me my opportunity to tone her with all the same formula. So you can see here, I did just an ashy toner. So that was the end result. So I just corrected it so it came back into all the same canvas. So then when I threw over my total overall toner, it looked more even. So I hope you guys enjoyed this video, and if you have any questions, just comment below. And if you follow me on Instagram, you can see a little bit more of my work. And I hope you liked it. If you liked it, just subscribe and follow me on Instagram. Thank you. Bye.